Action!
From an accidental lead actor to a big shot director, this Kenyan-born Somali has decided to chart his own way and dance to his own drum beats, with interesting stories cutting across Kenya and Somali. Ladies and gentlemen, today in studio, we are joined by director Mahad. Well, thank you so much, Mahad, for joining us. Let me ask, how long have you been in Kenya?
Born and raised in Kenya.
Born and raised in Kenya.
Yeah.
So how did you start your journey as a director?
Before I became a director, I worked in TV as a cameraman. So nilichapa almost like 2-3 years. Then nikaona like easy area yangu. So I was like, I need to switch up. I remember going to the boss telling him, Manze, either you give me a salary increase, ama najitoa.
Mimi nimeenda.
Nimeenda. So he was like, okay, hakuna salary increase, so utangoja 5 months tukuongeze. Nikasema siwezi ngoja 5 months. So I just left. Nimekuja home. For 6 months imekuwa sleep, eat, drink, repeat. Then I came across something like a channel called Adults React, Kids React. Then I was like, why don't you make something that Somalis can react to? So that's where the name Somali React was born. Intention yao channel ilikuwa tunatengeneza videos wasi wana react. I remember the first video tulifanya, it was about racism. The video is about a Somali boy seated with a Kenyan girl, wanacheza ludo. All of a sudden another Somali guy comes, alafu anamwambia niaje, unafanya nini na udem? So in Somali, this word they use, jerer. Jerer means hard hair. The guy goes like, we are Africans. Mbona unasema hivyo? So hiyo video, it blew up. So from reaction ikakuwa, wase watch, wanataka content. And all of a sudden, we won the first Somali Awards. Ilikuwa back in 2017. And we continued. Like many filmmakers, before nifanye cinema, nilikuwa na approach. I'll have the script. Wananiambia, boss, like, we'll get back to you. I have the energy and everything. But when Somali React blew up, hapo sasa nikaanza kupata phone calls.
Wakaanza kutafuta sasa.
Wananiambia niaje boss, si ukuje, you know, we have actors, we need your actors. We do a film. And we did the first Somali feature film here in Kenya. It's called Ayanle. It premiered Netflix. And yeah, so since from 2017 mpaka sai nimekuwa kwa industry. Last year we were approached by the biggest Somali TV station in Somalia. You know, with Somalia kulikuwa na war, like every time kuna explosion and everything. But for that TV, they don't do any news. And kuna monthly subscription ya $8. And that's why many people, they watch that channel. I was approached and they were like, hey, we want you to do a series, but here in Kenya. So nikafanya hiyo series, wakai-like. Then everything ika-change. Last year wakaniambia, can you come to Somalia utrain wase? So ile training ya 1 month ikakuwa 1 year.
Wow. So hiyo journey imekuwaje? What are the challenges umeface so far?
Challenges as a Somali community inaanza with the Somali community.
Okay.
So I remember when niliacha job, nikaingia YouTube, my uncles and aunts wananipigia, msee, unafanya nini kwa YouTube? Like, umemaliza uni, ulikuwa na job ingine poa, unafanya nini YouTube? Like, why? Bono unafanya kama watu wengine wanafanyanga ambayo ni jobless, they are dropouts, unafanya nini YouTube? But then, vile ika blow up, that's when my nephews niece wananipigia wananiambia, oh, we saw your channel, our father, my mother ndo walituambia you are related.
Oh.
So hiyo ndo sasa they are claiming me, wanasema, oh, just because imeenda juu, now that you are one of us. So most challenges, it was like unaambiwa cinema ilipi. And then the most challenging ilikuwa, we wanted to do a feature film, hatukuwa na budget. And then we were like, can we do something like a fundraiser? Tulitengeneza video, and then our fans wakasema, yeah, guys, just post it na mupost till number, tutachanga. I remember tulipost hiyo video, and one of the girls was the ones who was doing the fundraising video. Zile comments zote zilikuwa directed to her, and it was so abusive. Like, you guys are needy, like, nyi mnataka tu do, mnaibia wase. So we had to delete the video, and it was, up to now, I'm afraid to do another fundraiser. Ndo maana wanasemanga like vitu zingine wachie wazungu.
Let's talk about Ayanle. Ayanle ilianza wapi?
A good friend of mine, tulipata naye 2013, Ahmed Farah. He's been in the industry for so long, almost 20 plus. And I remember nilipata naye across Facebook. I just wrote to him and from there tukakuwa mabeste. He wrote the script for 8 years. Alitafuta funds, akapata funds. Then finally, the film was shot here in Nairobi around 2019. Tukapatwa na COVID. And at the same time as Somali Kenyan, you also face challenges just because unaambiwa you can be Somali Kenyan by word, but rangi, you're just Somali. Like makara wanakam, and the first thing wanauliza hata si kitu ingine, like where are your IDs? Unaonesha na IDs, sasa ndo unaonesha ni permit. So like sometimes tulikuwa tuna shoot scenes, like tunataka kushoot 5 scenes for that night, unapata una shoot 1 juu polisi wanakama wana interrupt, and then for that day ume lose budget ya catering juu lazima wase wakule, you have to pay the crew because crew alikuwa wanalipwa per day. Hata tukiwa na papers it was hard, wanakuja wanauliza, wanaangalia papers, they go, and then at the same time they refer to other cops, so unapata makara wengine pia wanakuja, but finally we finished, and yeah, and the results unaweza jionea.
It was really amazing. So what we see on Ayanda is actually what was happening on the ground.
Yes.
Was that the most challenging thing ishaikuwa happening mkiwa kwa set? That's Kenya. What about in Somalia? What are the challenges that you faced when you're in Somalia?
So in Somalia, the funny thing is that when shooting, mostly ni watu, tena watu wadogo. So it's like the series we shot is about this blind girl, and we are shooting in the streets. Unapata mtoi anakuja anaangalia demo, anaambia udema hata akaye actress, udema mechapa. And then you're just there uko like what, unajaribu kuongea nao watu uwezi ongea nao. And then what they do worse is watoi wanahepa, wanaingia, you know, in Somalia there are so many alleys, so wanachukua mawe, so mawe zinaanza kurushwa, so ujui pali mawe inatoka, equipment lazima mtoke nayo. I remember one time tulikuwa tuna shoot, all of a sudden we had the explosion. The next thing watu wameangaliana, tumeendelea na job.
Oh,
yeah.
So was it a normal thing?
So it was like hakuna kitu naweza do, because usually in Mogadishu explosion ikifanyika, you'll have to know where to go, many roads wanazifunga, but that time ili happen hivi, wase walitulia, then all of a sudden tumemaliza hiyo scene, the director goes like, everyone just check on your phones, maybe your loved ones wanawapigia, so kila mtu kwa simu anaangalia, and then we continue with the shoot.
So your team and your crew and your cast, they really had to adapt quickly.
Yeah.
So were you using Kenyan crew and cast?
No, Somali? All Somali.
All Somali, so all they were Somali. Home?
They were home.
Okay. So you've done Buffies.
Yes.
Did very well. Such an amazing film.
Thank you.
How did that start? So
Buffies just started with just a normal talk. So I remember my Italian co-director, Vincenzo Cavallo, we went to see the premiere of What a short film that was nominated for the Oscars back in 2017. And I told him about the story. And then he got interested. And then from there, mimi sikushughulika. I was like, umemwambia story, all of a sudden anipigia simu ananiambia niaje si utoke tufanye hii filamu. So we sat together, nilikuwa nampea ideas, anaandika script, ananirudishia, I go through the script, I'll tell him this works, this doesn't work. And also at the same time, both of us are directors, so kuna zile vitu yeye anataka na kuna zile vitu mimi nataka, so we have to meet in the middle. And the challenges we faced with Buffies, it was one of the actors, it was crazy. One of the main actors alikuja, tulimwambia salary unalipwa in 4 installments. So the guy amezoea kufanya job inaitwaje UN. So in UN ukilipwa salo per week unalipwa allowance. So the guy goes like, mimi nataka nilipwe allowance, lazima nipewe do. And then we had to restructure his payment, kumwambia unalipwa hivi na hivi. And then at times I remember one of the main actors, we are in the middle of the shoot, 50% tumeshoot tumebakisha 50, actor amezima simu, and he's the one of the main actors. And so the best thing about Somalis, it's community oriented. So unapiga simu, unatafuta cousin wake, uncle wake, jamaa kapatikana. So we had to sit down with him, tukambongesha, then finally akakuja tukamaliza filamu.
Yeah, those are some of the challenges that producers and directors face on set. So how do you source for funding?
Now that I'm working with a TV station, they are self-funded. So hapo tuna unaambiwa come with ideas. But when it comes to me personally, vile naona, it's mostly with non-Somali friends na creatives ambayo wanaweza nisaidia, because wana understand. with other people nikiwaendea wananiambia so inarudisha ngapi hiyo do yangu, na by ikikuja na mbeka ngapi. Losses ni wewe, mimi nataka do yangu, ukifanya losses nirudishie do yangu. So it's quite challenging. And vile nilisema, it's hard after tulifanya the first fundraising video, up to now sijafanya ingine.
When it comes to the market, Kenyan market na Somali market, is there a difference between the two markets on how content yako imekuwa accepted and how it's being consumed?
There's a big difference, and that it's in terms of culture. So ukikuja Kenya, anything goes. Unaweza pata dem na chali, unaweza shikana mkono, unaweza kisiana, they can do anything intimate. But with the Somalis, you know, straight out from the script, it gets cancelled. So lazima, you have to be aware of that. So for us Somalis, I remember when we were growing up, tukiwa wadogo mbele ya TV tuna watch, and then there's a kissing scene nakuja kwa scene, alafu naambia geuka, si wote tunageuka. So then I asked myself, like, we many Somalis, the rest of the people, we watch Netflix film series, there's kissing scenes. But sasa, the big challenge inakuja when you have Somali people kissing on the screen. It will be like, hapana, hiyo ni mbaya sana. Yeah, so you have to avoid those things.
So other than being a director, you're also an actor.
Yeah.
Ushaikuwa kwa set ukaambiwa ufanye kitu yenye iko against your culture?
The first time nilikuwa actor, it was a short film, ilishinda ZIF back in 2015. It's where I met this Italian director, Vicenza, a good friend of mine. Sasa tumekuwa best for almost 10 years. Ilikuwa inaitwa Wazi FM. So hiyo filamu nakumbuka nili audition, sikuchukuliwa. All of a sudden nikamwambia niaje, haujanichukua, but at least let me be part of the crew. Hata kama nikufanya behind the scenes, ndafanya. So at that time tulikuwa BTS walikuwa na shoot na hizi camcorder tunaweka mini DV. So I remember walinipea mini DV moja, and within 60 minutes nilijaza. And then they were like, no, you have to slow down. And then the funny thing happened was that the main actor, the role I was supposed to play, wakapea the main actor, the first day akakuwa mgonjwa. Nikapigiwa simu, hey, actor amekuwa mgonjwa and the role is yours. So that night sikulala. I was like, finally nimepata role. Hii kazi naichapa vizuri sana. And imekuja, tumechapa, imeenda poa. All of a sudden, ikakuja scene ya kissing scene. And I was like, hell no, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
And then the Italian guy was like, no, you signed a contract. Nitakuja nikusuu, nini. Nikamwambia, there's no way I'm doing this. And then I remember he started speaking Italian. I think alikuwa ananitukana in Italian, and then pia mimi nikaanza kumtukana in Somali. So wale wote kwa set wakastuka, wakasema jamaa nini mbaya. And then I remember they had to come with an alternative. I was like, hey, let's just make anything. I remember wakasema, okay, they'll come with something. I remember wakaniambia, okay, what you do is scene ikiendelea, just unatoa shati, throw it on the camera, inakuwa transition. So nikasema sawa.
There's always a solution.
Yeah.
There is always a solution.
So ikaenda hivyo. With film, it's different when it comes to culture. But ikikuja otherwise, inaweza enda poa. And you know, I'm still so happy that one of the main films, my first film nilifanyanga, that ilishinda award. So I'm like, at least also as an actor, you made it.
Yeah, that's something. It's very encouraging and, you know, validating to a person. When it comes to you as a director, how do you choose projects and who to work with?
They usually say you're as good as your final project.
Yeah.
So nikiangalia script, naona inanibamba, and then it's something that will also add to my credentials, ndaichukua. I'll be like, yeah, okay, I'll work on this. But nikiona ni zile hohehahe, I'll be like, siwezi do. Hata vile iko poa aje, I can't do it. Because as a reputation, you also have other filmmakers, other fellow directors who will also judge you. Utapigiwa simu ambiwe, mse, nini ulifanya? Like, this is not you. And also at times, ukifanya production, you have to swallow your pride. Kuna saa zingine, unapewa ufanye. And then you're like, okay, I'll do this, but I'll make changes.
So your decision yako, is it mostly based on your culture, the people, also what when unafanya kazi now, do you prefer working with people who understand where you're from, what you do, your traditions and all that? Do you just work with anyone? When
I did the first series in Nairobi, I remember a good friend of mine called Willie. I met Willie, and niliambia Willie, there's hii series nafanya, nataka utoke. And then Willy was like, the script is in Somali. So nilikuwa namwambia hii scene tunafanya, it goes this way. And alikuwa anakuja ananiambia basi fanya hivi, I think hii scenario, let's do this. So nilikuwa na hiyo flexibility, at least let other people on the crew pia wakikuja na idea zao zichukue. Usiku ule director anabaki hapo anasema hapana,
my way.
Yeah, my way hapana. So kuna scenes zingine nikimwambia hivi ananiambia we, hii ni Niger, let's avoid it. Wacha tufanye hivi na hivi. And I believe as a director unafaa kupea crew yako initwaje some space here also pia for them to be part of it, because truth be told, ukiona Oscars msiakipewa the best director, it's only the director ambaye is recognized, but the crew ambaye walikuwa work na yeye, they are not there. So as a director, for me, I usually like to give my DOPs the space of at least pia wao wako a part of the project. Yeah, so it doesn't depend on where you're from, what's your culture.
So umekuwa kwa industry since 2017?
2017, yes.
Ushaikuwa na mentor?
Mentor, yes. My good friend Ahmed Farah, and every time alikuwa nafanya project, I'll be like, let me go with you. And also I had the opportunity to meet other directors and I'll be, listen, I just want to be on set. I want to learn, nataka kuja vile vitu zinaenda, just call me. Story ya fair, story ya food, mi nitajilipia. But for me, Ahmed was one of my best mentors. I had the opportunity to attend ADMI, a film school. My good lecturer, Wilfred Kiumi, is a good mentor, lecturer. Alinisaidia sana. Nikiwa chuo, walikuwa wananituma internships. So nilikuwa naenda nafanya job narudi.
So what about you? Are you mentoring anyone?
In Somalia, we have these guys who want to be directors. So every time wakiwa hapo, I work with them. And the most special moment was when my sister came to the TV studio, nikipeana training. She was part of it. And then ananiambia, listen, like family hizi kuwa na director moja. Ama hizi kuwa na director moja chali, lazima demu akwe hapo.
Balance.
I'm also mentoring them. I went for a shoot in a production in one of the towns in Somalia. And I remember the guy ambaye alikuwa anafanya sound, it was so funny. Alikuwa anachukua boom, akichukua boom anachukua pilo mbili, anasidi katikati. So anafinya record and then he's like, wacha nirudi. And then you're like, boss, unafanya nini? So it was hard. So unapata wasi kama hao lazima train. Sasa you train some people and then some people they are ready for you. And then it comes at a cost. So mi siangalia cost. Nikisema mse wa sound ako sawa, ndio pia ako sawa, lazima walipe haki yao. Because they will give you what you want.
So here we have a tradition. Towards the end of every episode, tawangana games ucheza. Kuna maswali kwa ndani hii box. Maswali ni 3. So you pick randomly, alafu ujibu. Ukipick swali ushindwe kujibu, hiyo ni fine ya 200, itabai mtu lunch hapa nje mahali. Sawa? Good. There you go.
Let's pick this one. Who was the last person you said I love you to? So it's not the last person. Every time that I talk to my mom, I tell her I love you.
Oh, yeah, that's so sweet. Okay, number 2.
What makes you really angry? The thing that makes me really angry is ni mingi sana. People who look down upon people. People who like belittle people. Yeah, hizo mbili zinanikasirisha sana.
Number 3.
Yo, if you were to walk in a room with all the people you know, who will you look for? All the people I know, who will you look for? Where? Oh, the people, mazi watu ni wengi.
Watu ni wengi lakini ukiingia unatafuta nani?
These are 3 questions. Wacha nilipe hiyo 200. Nalipe hiyo 200.
Sawa. Thank you so much, Mahad, for joining us. Okay. It was really fun. Nashukuru sana.
Thank you.
Well, that's it. We've come to the end of our episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time. Goodbye.